welcome everyone to what is now becoming one of Mind Valley Academy's biggest webinars that we put on every single year, our Marissa Peer Masterclass. So let me tell you what the big deal is and why so many people show up for this class. If you think about the world today, there are people, perhaps you, who are really good at particular things in life. Maybe you have emotional well-being and you're perpetually at peace. Maybe you're just doing really well financially. Or maybe your health is put together well. Maybe you have a glorious family life. But the problem is, most of us don't have all of these. We tend to be good in one area, but lacking in others. I've experienced this too. I've had moments in my life where my health was right up here, but I was broke. Perhaps you've experienced the same. Or moments where you're making a ton of money, but your relationships, your happiness levels are down. So Marissa Peer is a trainer, a coach, a healer to many of the world's top performers. You could say, for lack of a better word, the people in the 1%. And these people in that 1% seem to have it all. They seem to have this beautiful balance between all dimensions of their life. There are 12 dimensions, yes, we are going to share. And these 1%ers seem to have the money and the health and the relationship and the emotional well-being and the ability to contribute and charitably give to the world. The question is, why can't all of us get there? So to understand what these 12 areas are, before we start this masterclass, I'm going to give you a quick 3-minute quiz. By this point, you should have downloaded our workbook. If not, don't worry, get a piece of paper and a pencil, and we're going to explore the 12 areas for you. These are the 12 areas that I talk about in my book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, and that we use in the Mind Valley Academy to show someone how to create a life where you have it all. So, the first 4 of these areas all fall under the category of experiences. Now, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. With your pen or pencil, I'm going to ask you to rate your life right now on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how you score in these areas. For example, the first area is relationships. Rate yourself from 1 to 10. 1 being really, really, really poor. 1 might be where you don't have the relationships you want, you're miserable, you're lonely, you're craving for someone, or you're in a relationship and it's broken and it is a terror every single day. 10 is where you are living a Hollywood dream. You have that spectacular relationship. Your life is filled with sex, romance, but whatever it is that you crave, and it couldn't be better. And you wake up every morning going, God damn it, I'm so lucky. So 1 to 10, you get what that is. Okay, now here's the trick to this exercise. You're going to be tapping into your intuition. The first number that comes to you is usually the correct one. Do not overanalyze it. So I'm deliberately going to go really fast. We're going to cover 12 categories. You're going to write down 1 to 10 in 3 minutes flat. Ready? Let's begin. The first one is your relationships, your love life. And these are specifically romantic relationships. 1 to 10. Rate yourself. Great. The second category are your friendships. Our friends, the people around us, are the people who help uplift us and keep us performing at our best level. What are the quality of your friendships like today? 1 to 10. Third, your ability to experience the world through adventure. A lot of people forget this, but adventure is a broad category of life. It's the ability to travel, to see and seek beautiful new things, whether it's trying out new things like skydiving or exploring a different country. How would you rate the sense of adventure in your life? Top 1%ers live a life of adventure, 1 to 10. Number 4, this is something that many people forget in their goal-setting regimen. Your environments. Do you get to stay at 5-star hotels, the best Airbnbs, travel business class? What is your home like, your working space like, your cars like? Write down this number from 1 to 10. Now, we're going to go to the next bucket, and this is growth. This is how you grow in life. In Mind Valley, we believe growth is a goal in itself. And there are 4 areas in which we want to create growth in our life. You're going to rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in these 4 areas. See, the people who are at that 1% are perpetually growing. They're constantly getting better at who they are and what they do. Now, the first area of growth is going to be your health and fitness, 1 to 10. Where are you in terms of health and fitness? Second category, your spiritual life. Where are you in terms of your full spiritual abilities? Your sense of self-esteem, your ability to tap into intuition, to meditate at will, your connection to the divine or whatever power you believe in. 1 to 10. Next, your intellectual life. The people right at the top 1% are constantly growing, consuming knowledge, and growing the breadth of their wisdom. So Where do you rate your life in terms of 1 to 10, in terms of the learning that's happening right now? Are you reading enough books? Are you having enough opportunities to learn, to take classes, to learn online, to attend seminars, to constantly grow in terms of your wisdom and knowledge? And finally, the final category in this area is your skills. In terms of your career and your career progression, what skills are you taking on? How would you rate your life in terms of skill development? Are you learning a skill for the sake of it, such as public speaking? Are you learning a skill such as programming or project management to help you climb the career ladder? How rapidly are you growing in terms of skills? So now you've looked at experiences, you've looked at growth. We're going to look at the final category of the 12, and that is a bucket that has to do with contribution. So the 4 areas in this bucket all relate to your ability to give to the world. The first is through career success. This is where you rate yourself from 1 to 10 in terms of how your career is going. Do you have that business you've always dreamed of? Are you at that particular level in your career? Are you working in a job or in a company that fills you with excitement when you wake up every morning? Rate yourself from 1 to 10. Now, your creative life. On a scale of 1 to 10, how creative are you? All of us as human beings have this deep desire to create, to make the world more beautiful. What is creativity for you? Is it music? Is it photography? Is it writing? How would you rate your life in terms of creativity from 1 to 10? Next, your family. If you are not currently married or have kids, your family might be any group of people you live with. It could be your parents, it could be a group of close friends. How would you rate the quality of your relationships with your family? And finally, community service. Where are you in a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of giving back to the world, in terms of volunteerism, in terms of donations, in terms of giving to your community, whether it's your church group or your business or your close community neighborhood group or the school you volunteer with? How are you giving back to those group of human beings that you're closest to? Okay, so you've given yourself a rating from 1 to 10 in all of these 12 areas. And these 12 areas fall into 3 buckets: experiences, growth, contribution. So here's where you want to be. If there's any area where you are less than 8, that is an area where you can improve your life. That is an area where you can enhance your contribution, enhance your growth, so that you can truly live an uncompromised life. The thing to understand is that most of us are imbalanced. We are high on a couple, low on others. But think about how miserable life can be if, say, you have that career success, but your family life is broken. Or you have that creative output, but you're broke. Or you have everything else, but your health is at a 1 or a 2. See, to really live on this planet, to really experience all that life can give us, we want to be at a level of 8 or above in all of these areas. And Marissa Peer is going to help you get there. Now, you may be wondering, where does money come in? Actually, everywhere. See, abundance, money, is part of the fuel that allows you to live beautifully in all of these areas. It allows you to experience the best environments. It allows you to give to community. It allows you to have the best health coaches. It allows you to invest in your intellectual growth. It allows you to invest in your business. Money fuels everything. Abundance fuels everything. So as you learn to cultivate growth in all of these 12 areas, as you put yourself in the right mindset to allow these areas to unfold for you, the money starts coming in. That is also a key part of what you're going to experience today. So many of you have read my book, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind, and you will notice Marissa Peer is the single teacher I feature most in my book. And I talk about how, with a few sessions with Marissa, she made me regress and see mental blocks I had on, particularly in my case, abundance. And when those blocks were fixed in 4 months, I experienced tremendous growth in my business, tremendous growth in my career. In fact, in just a few months of working with Marissa, I got one of the best book deals any author could ever imagine. Today, as we are filming this, the book is number 2 on the LA Times nonfiction list, number 6 on the New York Times, and number 18 in USA Today, all books sold in America, period. And know this, the guest that I'm bringing on is the single most featured teacher in that book. And I feature a lot of people, from Elon Musk to Richard Branson to Michael Beckwith to legendary people all across the world. But Marissa Peer is the single most featured teacher in this best-selling book because of her ability to truly impact lives, mine, and hopefully today, yours too. So get ready for an exciting time. Let me give you an idea of how transformational Marissa Peer is. Marissa has been voted Britain's top coach by Tatler, by Time Out. She has worked with the royal family. Princess Diana was one of her clients. If you think about the movies playing in the world today, think about the top movies playing in the cinemas in your city or neighborhood, and odds are one of those A-list actors is a client of Marissa. She works with the who's who of Hollywood. So people right at the top, from princesses to Hollywood A-listers, seek her when they need to level up their game. She is also the person I go to when I need a quick fix in an area of my life. And I mean that word, quick fix, because how she's able to fix people so rapidly through transformational hypnotherapy is astonishing. That's why her process is called Rapid Transformational Therapy, RTT. It is a remarkable process. Now, to really give you an idea of how powerful this woman's techniques are, I want to read to you a couple of comments while we're waiting for more people to join us, a couple of comments from legendary people all around the world who have had their lives explode because of Marissa Peer's magic touch. First up, our friend Jeffrey Allen, who is one of Mindvalley's top authors. He publishes the Duality program. Jeffrey met Marissa at a Mindvalley festival, A-Fest, and this is what he said. I don't know what you've done to my mind, but it has a space now where all the negative thoughts about no one being interested in me have all gone away. And within 1 year, Jeffrey's career, Jeffrey's audience, his reach exploded. See, Jeffrey was carrying a mental block in his mind that, as skilled as he was as an energy healer, he couldn't get his gifts out to the world. Marissa fixed that, and when that fixed, his entire reality changed. Today, he's become 10x more famous when this mental bug was removed from his brain. Jason Roberts, the Premier League football player, said, "My life and my footballing skills have changed dramatically. This guy plays for the Premier League." The actor Jeff Rudolph said, "What you did for me is nothing short of miraculous. I owe you my life." Jerry Cott, who is the co-founder of the Boomtown Rats with Bob Geldof, said, "Marissa's therapeutic work and counsel is a hugely powerful resource in my life for which I am eternally grateful." Molly Parkins, the renowned writer and artist, said, "I stopped smoking and drinking for good and developed a completely different attitude to food." So, once you learn this stuff, you have such incredible control over your cravings, over your body. And one of the things I want to share, other than all those celebrity endorsements, is the impact Marissa had on our own community. So I brought Marissa to Mindvalley's Transformational Festival, A-Fest. 2,000 changemakers from around the world apply every year to attend A-Fest. We choose 500. So when you speak at A-Fest, you're really speaking to a really high-quality audience. It's like TED for the personal growth world. Now, when we put Marissa on stage in 2015, she was voted Best Speaker. But not only that, her ideas were so transformational, they started this movement. I'm sharing with you some actual photographs of people on Instagram several weeks after attending A-Fest, talking and sharing the impact Marissa had on their lives. So take a look at this picture. The woman in the center with the circle around her head is Lisa Van Ann. She is a U.S. kickboxing champion, a remarkable teacher in martial arts for women. Now, Lisa, though, in that picture, she's smiling. Lisa has always felt that she was not attractive. She's never been able to smile in photographs. That was one of the first pictures where she actually smiled, because as remarkable as she were as an athlete, she had this thing in her head that says she was not attractive, that she did not look good enough. And after Marissa's speech, Lisa smiled in photos for the first time. Lisa later said this, "I feel ugly in pictures, never happily taken a selfie. In one swift movement, I became a selfie lover." And you might have seen one of my first ever selfie pics with "I am enough" in lipstick on the mirror of our hotel room. In no less than the time it took to change my mind, I've now become a model and I take beautiful and adorable photos at will. Well, what is this "I am enough" thing that people are talking about? Well, in a simple practice that Marissa launched at A-Fest, she gave us all a simple technique, and that's writing "I am enough" on a mirror. And this transformed so many people's lives. It helped them fill the hole. And within weeks, pictures went up all over the web of people writing "I am enough." That first picture there is Lisa Van Am. You see that guy in the blue shirt? So he came to me 1 year after this picture was taken, and he told me how he made his daughter do this on a mirror too. And his daughter was a child who was being bullied in her school in London. His daughter overcame the bullying in weeks when this simple mirror technique went up on her mirror. So you see, these techniques that Marissa is going to share with you today are remarkable. They transform families, they transform lives, they make us whole again, they allow us to live an uncompromised life. And what I shared is just one simple technique, I am enough. What you're going to learn in this class is so much deeper. You're actually going to experience a full-on 30-minute rapid transformational therapy with Marissa Peer. Now, people pay 2,000 British pounds, or about 3,000 US, for a single session with Marissa. You're getting this free as part of the Mind Valley community. Do not be watching this while you're driving. You will need your full attention, and you will need to be in a quiet, safe space. So, without further ado, now that you know about this remarkable woman, let's welcome Marissa Peer. Hi, Marissa.
Hi, Vishen. How are you?
It's so wonderful to have you on this.
Well, it's wonderful to be here.
I can't wait for you guys to experience the rapid transformational therapy session. And the impact on people is just amazing. Let's get started.
It is amazing. People come up to me all the time and write to me and go, I'm sure you're bored with hearing this or sick of hearing this, but you changed my life in 5 minutes. People come up to me when I get off stage and go, wow, you changed my life in 5 minutes. And not long ago, I was giving a talk to a major bank and they asked me to come back and do another one. And when I came back, somebody ran up and went, oh my God, you have changed my life in minutes. But I never get bored with hearing that because I changed my life. And it's a wonderful thing to have these gifts that transform people really, really fast. And this is actually the first program I've made like this, and I'm so excited about it because my feeling is you don't need to spend years and years having therapy, reading books. You can change like that. You can transform in minutes if you know how to do it. And I know how to do it, and I'm going to show you today something amazing that's going to transform you. I'm going to show you how to never fear rejection again. You see, rejection makes people very, very fragile. We live in a world where we think if I'm rejected, I might die. Because hundreds of years ago, you might have died if you were rejected. You would have been banished or cast out. But now, you cannot die from rejection. It can't even hurt you. I'm going to show you today how to be bulletproof from rejection. And when you've done that, and then you come onto the program, you're going to learn 8 techniques that will change your life. And each technique is entirely different. They're designed to change your business life, your financial life, your relationships, even your weight. Because to be able to eat differently, to be able to work differently, to have a different relationship where you really feel you're worth it, you have to do these 8 programs. Each one seems effortlessly into the next. They're all entirely different on their own right, but they stitch into the next one so beautifully. And I learned this from my own clients. I had a great teacher myself, but everything I'm going to teach you, I didn't learn in school, I didn't learn in a book. I learned it from my patients. I learned what really worked. I watched them transform in front of my eyes, and they'd come back and go, oh my God, you know, that one thing you did, that was amazing, or that other thing you did, I'm now doing it with my kids. And I thought, well, I should really put this all together. So everything that worked with my patients, I started using it on my next patients until I collected an almost faultless technique to transform people. And that's what I'm going to be giving to you.
So what I love about Marissa and the philosophy that you're getting out to the world is that transformation can happen fast, it can happen rapidly. You do not need years of therapy for many of this. And now, again, I'm not a medical doctor, neither are you. But one of the things that Marissa's patients have found is that in the past, they had been told that they had to go back and see a therapist over and over and over and over again and pay these obscene fees and thousands of dollars year after year after year. And then Marissa would come and just fix them like that. And Marissa, I believe, I think you're modest about this, but I believe you're really fighting to change this addiction type therapeutic movement that we have, where we collect people's money over and over and over again, claiming that their healing is going to take place over years. And you can do it in a 1-hour session.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually now addressing surgeons and doctors who say to me, how are you fixing people in an hour? They send me patients they've been working with for 10 years. A doctor recently said to me, it's so depressing. I've been seeing this girl for 10 years. you cured her in an hour. And this year I've been asked to address the Royal College of Surgeons in the UK. They're now doing clinical trials on what I do. I'm now teaching psychiatrists. And recently, psychiatrists, you know, after I met you, I shut my office, I reopened it, and I've stopped that every Friday for 7 years. And then I got a letter from someone saying, please take on this patient. She's going to need to come and see you for at least 5 years to even begin to get better because she's been so abused. And she said, I don't do that anymore. I do what you do. And people haven't got time to spend 7 years in therapy.
Nor do they need to.
And they don't need to. And we have this belief that the brain is so complicated. Actually, it really isn't. You're going to see in this course that I break down how your mind works to just 3 things. It's all you need to know. And when you put those 3 workings of the brain into practice, I promise you, you can have almost anything you want. You can have an extraordinary business. You can have a beautiful relationships that last. You can have the kind of body and health and fitness you want. You just have to understand the workings of your mind and simplify it and take on some skills that I will teach you that are fast, that are instant, they're actually quite fun too. This is not work. You will really like it. And what I found with all my patients is that I can put them into 3 categories. I have one category, and they have this interesting belief, well, you can't have everything, you know. No one can have everything. If you have everything, well, it's just not even possible. And because I have that belief that already defeated, there's no way I could have a great relationship and a wonderful business and look after my health. No, that's not possible. So of course, with that belief, it's not possible. I have a second group who have a different belief, and they go, well, I can have everything, but the price I pay is so high. If I have a great career, I won't have a great relationship with my kids. Or maybe, just maybe, I could squeeze in a great career and a relationship. I never go to the gym. I'm going to live on junk food. I'm going to get cancer because of the stress. And because they believe that, they too are defeated. But I have a third group. I call them the 1%ers because they're such a small group. And they have everything. They have a beautiful relationship with their spouse, with their children. They have an extraordinary career. They often have startups and they make a lot of money, and they're healthy and fit and well. They have a great body, and they have something else too. Interesting, they have 2 things. First, they have a belief that says, I deserve all of this. Because some of my clients who have all of that think, I shouldn't have this, other people haven't got this. Or with a lot of rock stars and movie stars who go into sabotage because they feel, I don't really deserve all of this. But my 1% group, not only do they believe I absolutely deserve this, so they enjoy it, they don't sabotage it, they also share it with everyone else. And my life didn't start like that, but I'm in that 1%. I have an amazing business, which I love. I have a wonderful marriage. I'm blissfully happy. I have extraordinary relationships with my children. I have great health. I fought back against life-threatening illnesses, and they haven't even left a mark on me. But I also have this need to share it because I think I'm worth it, and I love sharing it. So I would love you to join that 1%. I want that 1% to become a much bigger percent, to be 20%. And so I've made this program to take you from the 99% to the 1%. It's actually really easy. You're going to love it.
And what I love about Marissa, what I love about how you teach is how connected you are to everyone, how kind-hearted you are. You know, Marissa comes to A-Fest even when she's not speaking. She comes to just be part of our community, to interact with our students. And I've seen you just, you know, have people come to you with tears in their eyes about a problem they're having, and you sit down with them over lunch. You take up your lunch break, sit down with people, and just instantly heal them. And she's even done the same for me. So, you know, Marissa, one of the things I think we should make very clear to the people over here is that just because you are a billionaire or a celebrity does not mean you're in the 1%. The 1% is not the people who are the super celebrities, the people who have power over industries or companies. Many of these people still are not in that 1% because there's some dimension of their life that is broken. But you're increasingly working with these people and helping them see balance. Your stories are incredible. You cannot travel with Marissa right now without like fans coming up to her, like celebrity fans. We were in India. We were in India recently attending the wedding of the CFO of Mind Valley. And Marissa, on her Twitter feed or something, had mentioned how she was visiting India. And I remember when you landed in the airport, one of Bollywood's biggest stars, a woman who was viewed by 1 billion people in India, one of the top 5 biggest stars in Bollywood, came to the airport, went past security, insisting to see Marissa because Marissa had changed her life. And what was that word she said to you?
Yeah, she said, you're my family now. You've changed my life and your family. So she got through security, came to the airport lounge just to hang out with me for an hour because she said I had changed her life.
And if people right at the top, this woman who's called Marissa part of her family because of the impact Marissa had on her life, is a woman who is known by 1 billion people on earth today, one of Asia's biggest stars. Imagine what Marissa can do for you. Now, one thing I want you to share, Marissa, is that story you shared with me yesterday about the strange things that you can accelerate in the human body. And talk about the person who had his jaw disrupted at the Charlie Hebdo shootings.
Oh yes, I'm just working with this wonderful man who was shot in the face in the Charlie Hebdo attack in Paris and had lost part of his jaw. And what's extraordinary that you can do in hypnosis is that you can accelerate healing. So I was working with him to get his jaw to grow back. Obviously he's had a jaw transplant, and to get his mind to really want and to welcome these teeth that are being transplanted into his body. And the thing with the mind is it does what it thinks you want it to do, but unless you can dialogue and collaborate with your mind in a really clear and specific way, then it gets it very wrong, because your mind doesn't care if what you tell it is right or wrong or healthy or unhealthy or even good or bad. It lets it in. When you start to dialogue with your mind and go, I want these new teeth, I want to chew, I want to speak, I want to swallow, I want to kiss, your mind will never argue with you. I recently had someone who came up in the school I'm teaching and asked me to work with her in front of the class, and she had scoliosis, and I thought, oh gosh, I wouldn't really have volunteered a scoliosis patient, but actually I worked with her, and it turned out that all of the scoliosis was to stop her parents beating her. And in front of our class, her spine straightened. I was asking her to imagine like little Lego bricks straightening her spine, and 3 weeks later she did a feedback for me and said, you know, it's extraordinary, but what's even more extraordinary is a girl in the class went home and did that with her mother and also straightened out her scoliosis. And so this isn't just about your mental health. There are so many things in your body that you can change. I had a little boy recently that I was talking to. I had eczema all over his body, and I said to him, you know, baby, if this eczema was your friend and was trying to help you, what would it do? And he said straight away, when I stand like that and Mummy puts the cream on me and wraps the bandages on me, she doesn't pay any attention to the baby. And he was 5 and he knew why he had it, but he was going to doctors and having steroid cream.
So he was manifesting this eczema,
Yeah,
because to him, when his mommy came and put the cream on his arms,
yeah,
he was getting the attention, not
and
the
not the
newborn
baby. And of course he'd watched her put all the cream on the baby, and at some level I thought, I wish I got attention like that. And the mind went, leave that with me.
Right, and so we take on a lot of these mental blocks. So if you think about your 12 areas where you could be low right now, it could be something that you do not even know that your mind took on as a child. I call this the meaning-making machine, right? And most of us have beliefs that we are not aware are installed. Marissa's skip is to pluck out those beliefs rapidly with rapid transformational therapy. Now, you've heard stories already that we have shared of how Marissa is helping people physically change their body in ways which science sometimes says is impossible. I've heard the story about how you helped that woman regrow tissue ligament in her foot so she could walk again. What's going to happen in the next 30 minutes is you're going to experience a particular healing of consciousness. Marissa works with tens of thousands of clients, and in our program, Uncompromised Life on Mind Valley, she's identified the 8 areas that the most number of people have blocks in. And there is a particular RTT method to heal all of these 8 areas. What we're going to do in this masterclass is look at area number 1 and give that to you completely free. You're going to experience this right here, right now, in this masterclass. And this area number 1, is what makes you, what is that word again?
Bulletproof against rejection.
It makes you bulletproof against rejection, because the fear of rejection is one of those things that truly keep us from doing amazing things. Marissa, I love the way you explained it. Explain why it's so important to be bulletproof.
Well, you see, many years ago, if you lived in a tribe and you didn't adhere to their kind of standards of expectations of behavior, they would banish you or cast you out. I mean, we would banish or maroon difficult sailors. Difficult prisoners were put in isolation. So we have this innate fear of being rejected, and it makes us very fragile. I've worked with clients who said, for instance, my boss fired me on the office in front of everyone in the building, and I now don't have a job, and I could never get a job again because I might be rejected. Or they'll say, you know, I was in love with this guy, he broke my heart into a million pieces, actually married my best friend, I've never dated again, I want a relationship, but I'm so scared of being rejected. I'll tell you a very simple story so you understand how simple it is. I worked with a trader, a Wall Street trader, who had the potential to make a lot of money, and yet he was too scared to trade. He'd gone through all the training. His bosses couldn't understand why he couldn't trade. Nobody could understand it. He came in to see me, and it was so interesting. I took him back to why he had this fear, because all fear is a fear of rejection. I can't trade in case I make a mistake, and then I'll get rejected. I can't do that in case I could do it wrong, and then I'll get rejected. And his story wasn't particularly mind-blowing, but it was interesting. His parents had 2 little girls, and then they had him. And when he'd play with his little car trucks and smash them together, go, why are you so aggressive? Look at your sisters just combing their doll's hair. They're not like you. Why are you jumping on the sofa? Why can't you be like your sisters? Why are you so loud? You need to be like your sisters. And eventually he got this interesting belief that, oh, there's something wrong with me. I should be passive and sweet. And it's like getting a cat and saying, why can't you be like a dog? He was a boy. They had no experience of boys. They wanted him to be a girl. And so he had this terrible fear that everything he did was wrong. So I hypnotized him, and he traded amazingly after that. He said what was even more interesting, he said, you know, I've never had success with women. He said, because I realized I thought I had to be one. He said, now I'm so confident, women can sort of smell it. He said, and they're all over me. He said, and I've got great I could have almost any woman I want. He said, but I've got this one I really like. He said, I'm trading. I never understood that message I heard all my life, why can't you be like your sisters, had gone in. And I was left with the feeling that it's not normal, I'm not right, you know, or my maleness is wrong. I worked with an Olympic athlete, and he was very interesting. He could always beat his own time in rehearsals, but never in a competition, because when he was a kid and his dad trained him, his dad always won, and he never let him win because he thought that will give him the edge. But what it left him was, I can swim really fast, but I can't ever win. And you just take those beliefs away, and it transforms people in front of your eyes. You know, I work.
It's amazing what we pick up as
Yeah.
kids.
You know,
Melissa, can I ask you a question? I know, and I really would love for you to share this with the audience if it's okay with you. Tell us the nanny story about how you had one of these beliefs installed in you. And as you guys are watching, you know, just think back. What could you have taken on as a child that could be holding you back from an uncompromised life today?
Yeah, because people look at me and say, wow, I bet you've always been like this. But actually, when I was a kid, I thought it was the most hideously ugly thing on the planet. I would not have my photograph taken. I thought I was really stupid. My father was a very, very eminent headmaster. And my parents kind of encouraged me to be a nanny. They said, oh, you're so good with children. I was told I could never have children. I overcame that too. But because I believed I couldn't have children, I thought it would be nice to look after someone else's. And now I think, wow, I nearly went down that route of nothing wrong with being a nanny, but what a waste of me. I would have looked after someone else's child for not great wage. And my parents wanted me and encouraged me to do that. And then luckily I found something else, and I realized a gift, because we all have a gift, and your gift lies directly behind and is absolutely connected to what you love to do. And I found my gift and I share it, and I look back and think, wow, I could have been a nanny. And a lot of you have not yet found your gift, but in Uncompromised Life, I will show you exactly how to find your gift. There is a technique to find your gift and then to share it, because when you do what you love, you have meaning and purpose, and there's nothing better. And actually a lot of depression is because people live without meaning and purpose. One of the things I can cure on this program, if you let me, is depression. Scientists have now said, actually, we've got it wrong. It isn't the chemical imbalance in our mind. It's harsh, hurtful, critical words that you say to yourself every day, and it's not following your heart's desire. If you cure those two things, you can cure even chronic depression. I've had suicidally depressed people. I've had people with bipolar who've done one session with me and it's changed their lives, and that's why the doctor said it's so depressing.
So question for you, right? And our cameraman, Al Ibrahim, you can't see Al because Al's behind the camera, but Al is smiling at me right now. Al asked you this question, and I want to share this with the audience because it's so important. So Al, our camera guy who's filming us right now, just before we started recording, asked Marissa, you know, I don't get it. You're going to teach people to be bulletproof. You're going to teach people to not fear rejection. You're going to teach people to be whole again. But, you know, if we are already comfortable, if we feel we're enough, if we're whole, if we have it all, what lights a fire under our ass to actually do more? What's going to stop us from just deciding we want to sit in our couch in front of the TV because we are complete and just watch Netflix all day?
Yeah. And people ask me that all the time. Oh, you know, my colleague at work has really done your I'm enough. But I'm a bit worried. If I'm enough, won't I just sit on the couch? No. When you're enough, you know you deserve more. When you're enough, you know you're worth more. In fact, someone who was in the Enough audience last year said, I went home, I dumped my boyfriend overnight. I had been trying to end that relationship for 4 years because he was abusive and diminishing, but I never thought I could get better. I went home, I dumped him, but even better, 2 weeks later, I met someone else. This week, we've met 3 people who've got engaged because I did that. You're lovable enough. And they all said, I don't feel lovable. When you know you're enough, you're worthy of love. You're worthy of a pay rise. You're worthy of a better job. You're worthy of a better opinion. When you go to the doctor, you go, well, actually, no, that's not good enough. I'm going to find something else because I deserve to live without pain. When you're not enough, you accept less than what you're worth. When you know that you're enough, you think, well, I'm going to have a great career. I'm going to have a better relationship. And I'm going to have better health.
And what you said is very interesting. When you know you're enough, right? When you know when you don't have these holes in yourself to fill, you have no difficulty asking for that raise. You have no difficulty, you know, if a business fails, you'll try again because you know it isn't you. You know it was, in your words, Marissa, your technique or your process or the way you asked. You know you can go back and change that stuff. And so you actually do more, you fulfill more, you become more. And that's where we're going to take you. So Uncompromised Life looks at 8 areas of life. And we'll come to that in a moment. But what we're going to do right now as a gift to you is give you that first module, that first section. And this is going to be making you bulletproof, eliminating that fear of rejection. Because this fear of rejection, I know has held me back. It took me years to write my first book because I feared people would say, you know, this is boring. It took me 3 years to start my first company because I thought, you know, I might lose all my money. It took me 2 years to ask the woman I'm now married to out on a date because I feared that she would reject me.
Sure.
That's ridiculous. All of us have this fear of rejection. Today, we're going to remove it for many of you. Marissa, anything else you want to add before we get started
Well,
with the
it's so
session?
interesting. I went through my early life very scared of rejection. I turned down a lot of opportunities because I feared rejection, and now I don't. And I almost don't recognize that person I was. And if I go to a school reunion, people come and go, my God, you're so different. What have you done? And I have to say, it's actually not what I do. It's who I am. But first, it's what I do. So first you do it, and then so fast it becomes who you are. So today, I'm going to take you through an extraordinary technique that is going to free you from rejection, because when you stop fearing rejection, you can't be hurt. When you learn not to let it in, you have such power. People can say mean things and do mean things, but you don't have to let it hurt you. Once you are free from fearing rejection, your life will take off. Your life will be extraordinary, and you be so much happier. It also frees you from a lot of the illnesses we get, because you're living in anxiety and making cortisol when you fear rejection. Cortisol is one of the things that causes infertility. And when you don't have that stress and anxiety, your life is so much happier. So let's all do that right now. So we're going to do some very exciting hypnosis now, and I want just to tell you the hypnosis is completely safe. Nothing bad can happen to you. It's safe, it's wonderful, it's healing, it's transforming. There is a kind of magic to being hypnotized, but there's also a sort of science in it. So I want you to just look at me. The trick to being hypnotized is to look up like that. When you look up as if you're looking into your eyebrows, keep your eyeballs up the way I'm doing, but close the lids down. You're going to something called REM. REM is rapid eye movement. When you get that REM, it means you're just in a state where you are highly suggestible, able to accept suggestions. And every suggestion I'm going to give you today is a good suggestion, a healing suggestion, a healthy suggestion. So you can let them in. You have nothing to worry about. You're just going to let go of negative stuff and embrace positive stuff. So let's just practice. We're not doing hypnosis yet. I just want to see how good you are. I want you to see how good you are going into REM. So with me, roll up your eyeballs as if you're trying to look into your eyebrows like that. Keep your eyeballs up, and keeping your eyeballs up, just close the lids down. Now you might feel that rapid eye movement. You might touch your lid and just be aware that your eyes are moving. You might not notice it at all. Doesn't matter. Now you've practiced it, let's go. I want you to make sure your phone is disconnected. Stick a note on your front door so nobody will ring the bell. I want you to not be disturbed. This is wonderful stuff, and I want you to really enjoy it. So making sure you can't be disturbed, and making sure that your feet are not touching and you're not sitting like that, but you're sitting with your arms apart. I want you to, again, to look up as high as you possibly can. Just breathe in and breathe out. And again, keeping your eyeballs up, breathe in, breathe out. Each time you blink, that's hypnosis coming upon you. Just one more time, breathe in, keep your eyeballs up. Every time you blink, hypnosis is coming upon you. And now, as you exhale, keep your eyeballs up, but just close your eyelids right down, all the way down. And just allow a drifting, floating feeling to develop in your body. And I want you to just drop your chin down just a fraction so that you really feel that looking down feeling that you might get when you look over a balcony or down a flight of stairs. And now you can forget all about the position of your eyes. Don't keep them rolled up. Just let your eyeballs go wherever they want to go. Get that looking down feeling that you get as you look downstairs. And as I count, you're going to see your feet, hear your feet, and feel your feet treading each step. You're moving on to step 10 as each muscle, every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 9 and 8, and you can see your feet. Hear your feet, feel your feet treading each step. As you move down, drift down, travel down to an even deeper level. You're taking step 7, and you are going deeper with every number I count. You're taking step 6, you are going deeper with every sound you hear. You're taking step 5, you are halfway down as each muscle. Every nerve turns loose, lets loose, and you go deeper. You're taking step 4 as you gently, calmly, easily move on over to an even deeper level. You are taking step 3. And any sound, noise, or movement around you, even the sound of your own breathing, is carrying you deeper and further into such a relaxed, such a healing state of hypnosis. You are taking step 2. And deeper just means that you are going deeper into an awareness of yourself. It's safe. It's wonderful. And now you're taking step 1, just go deeper, sleep deeper, drift deeper. Every time I click my fingers and say the words go deeper or sleep deeper, you are going deeper. So just go deeper and deeper and even deeper still. Just go deeper, drift deeper, sink deeper and deeper. That just means you're going deeper to a level where you are suggestible. Hypnosis is not about being asleep, not at all. It's really about how suggestible you are. And I'm going to show you how suggestible you are, and then every suggestion I give you is going to really go in and begin to powerfully transform your life. So remember, something different and rather wonderful happens when you're hypnotized. And you're going to feel that now, because I want you to imagine you're simply holding in your left hand the most powerful lemon, a big, juicy lemon. In fact, I want you to imagine you're holding half a lemon in your hand, and as you squeeze it, you can feel that wonderful lemon texture. And with your eyes closed, I want you to imagine bringing your hand up to your mouth and cramming that whole half of a lemon in your mouth. Push that lemon into your mouth and start chewing and sucking the flesh. Start swallowing all the juice. Start swirling chunks of lemon around your mouth. And what's happening as you think about biting, sucking, chewing and eating half a lemon is that your brilliant mind is actually pumping out saliva, creating saliva to a thought. There is no lemon. That little experiment can't do you any harm. It's just to show you that if you believe you're eating a lemon, your body makes saliva to a belief, because every belief you have has a physical reaction in your body. And you see, we all have beliefs about being rejected. Somewhere, somehow, someone has rejected you, hurt you, told you things about you that are not true, but your mind's held on to them. So I'm going to count you back in a minute to a scene, and another scene, and another two, and these scenes are going to show you just how and where and why and when you acquired a fear of being rejected. As you understand why, you are going to become free of that fear, not just today, but for the rest of your life. So right now, I want you to simply imagine that you are going back in time. You're going back to your childhood home. You're going back to the home that you lived in between the age of 2 and 8. And if you lived in more than one home between those ages of 2 and 8, it doesn't matter. Your mind will pick the right home, and even as I have you think about that and consider that, your mind is taking you back and back and back, and you are standing in the street. You are standing outside that home that you lived in between the age of 2 and 8. You're walking through the front door. You are now inside that home, and you are drawn like a heat-seeking magnet to the bedroom you slept in as a child, and now you're outside that bedroom. Your hand is on the door handle. You are just about to go into your childhood bedroom. In that room is you as a little kid. And you know that little kid so well, and you have a complete affinity with that child. But they know that you are them all grown up, and they have an affinity with you, and they will tell you anything you need to know. So open the door. Go into that room, and there sitting on the bed is you as a little kid. A little child between the age of 2 and 7. And you're sitting down next to that little child. You know that little child so well. This is you as a child, and they know that you are them all grown up, and they're completely comfortable with you being in the room with them. And I want you to ask that child some questions. As you ask each question, the answer will spring to your mind as if you typed it into Google and hit search. And the first thing you're asking that child is, are you happy or unhappy? And the answer is coming up immediately. I want you to ask that child another question, who loves you? And the answer will come up immediately. I want you to ask that child if they feel lovable. And I want you to ask them what the people raising them, usually mommy, daddy, but that could be grandparents or relatives, what do the people raising them do or not do that make that child feel not lovable enough? And now here's one more question. I want you to ask that child very clearly, who is rejecting you? What are the people around you doing or not doing that make you feel rejected? That child will tell you straight away, with that childhood honesty and clarity, what it is that makes them feel rejected, who makes them feel rejected. Could be children at school, could be siblings, could be neighbors' children. And now as I click my fingers, you're going to hear some words being said, some words that were said to that little child. When you were that little child, as I count to 3, you're going to hear certain words on the count of 1, 2, and 3. Your ears are wide open. You can remember something being said to you, about you, even over you. Something that has led you to fear being rejected, to feel that you are rejected, to feel that you're not good enough, something to do with you feeling that you're not smart enough or pretty enough or attractive enough, that you haven't got what the other children have. So I want you to look at that little child and just feel what they're feeling, hear what they heard, see what they saw. And now as I count backwards, your brilliant mind is going to take you right back to a scene, place, event that is all to do with when you first got this perception that people might or even are rejecting you. Right now on the count of 5, your brilliant mind is pulling you back, taking you back, moving you back, drawing you back. You're going back to a scene that is all to do with you feeling rejected. On the count of 4, you are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. On the count of 3, years are peeling away from your body. On the count of 2, you are drifting back. It's like you're in a time tunnel, being pulled back, drawn back, taken back to a vivid, vital scene that is the cause, the reason, the root of you. Still fearing rejection. On the count of 1, just be there. As I click my fingers, a scene is springing into your mind as easily as the computer screen warming up when you switch it on. This scene is coming into your mind as I ask you a set of questions. You instinctively and automatically answer each one. The first question is, are you inside or outside? You just know. Is it daytime or nighttime? You know that too. How old are you about? And here's the only question that really matters, which you're going to answer perfectly. What are you doing, seeing, feeling, and more than anything, what are you experiencing? And as you hear me saying, what are you experiencing, you are feeling that experience as if it just happened yesterday. What are you feeling? What are you hearing? What is being said about you, to you, around you? What's going on? You may be at home with a critical parent, or a critical relation, or a critical sitter. You may be at school with some children who are mean. Maybe it's your siblings. But I want you to just be aware of what you are feeling and experiencing as if it happened yesterday. And I want you to keep that image to one side. It's as if you've just got a DVD of a moment in your past and you're putting that to one side. Because we're now going back to another scene, even more vivid, even more vital, all to do with how, where, why, when you acquired a fear of being rejected and a belief that people can reject you. On the count of 5, you are becoming younger, smaller, lighter, shorter. On the count of 4, years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. On the count of 3, you are drifting way back, being pulled back, drawn back, taken back. On the count of 2, you're going back, back, back in time to a scene that is all to do with being rejected. On the count of 1, you are drifting right back right now. Just be there. And again, as I ask you these questions, a scene is springing into mind like you switching on the television set and the picture coming into focus, this scene where you are now. Is it daytime or is it nighttime? You just know. Are you inside or outside? Are you on your own or is anybody with you? And finally, what are you doing, seeing, feeling, and more than anything, what are you experiencing? You're feeling the feeling, experiencing the experience, and remembering that scene as if it happened yesterday. Of course, you don't have to relive this. You're reviewing it if something said something really mean, or even slapped your leg, you don't relive that, you review it. And you're reviewing this because it's giving you the most profound level of understanding about you. So just one more time, you're now going back to the most vital, crucial, vivid scene of all. That is all to do with how, where, why, when you got this perception, this belief about you being rejected. On the count of 5, you are drifting back to a vivid, vital, crucial scene that is all to do with how you got to be this way. On the count of 4, you're becoming years younger. On the count of 3 and 2, you're becoming smaller, lighter, shorter. Years, months, weeks, days are peeling away from your body. You are drifting right back, right now, being pulled back, drawn back, taken back to the most vivid scene that is the cause, the reason, the root of you fearing rejection. Just be there. And this scene, this time, is it daytime or nighttime? Are you inside or outside? You just know. How old are you about? And finally, the only question that matters, what are you doing? Seeing, feeling. What are you experiencing? You can feel that feeling like it happened yesterday. So I want you to keep those 3 scenes in your mind. I want you to look over and around and through these scenes right now. Your brilliant mind is looking at these scenes. As it looks at them, it understands exactly how and where and why and when you got this fear of being rejected. As your mind looks at these scenes, it's already processing this all and going, oh yes, those people said that really mean thing to me. Someone said something mean, did something mean, I heard something mean. I thought my parents preferred my brother, my sister. I thought my teacher liked all the other kids more than me. I thought I was ugly or stupid or poor or different. It doesn't matter what it is, it only matters that you are beginning to see just how and where and why, and more than anything, when you got these beliefs. You see, what you're seeing is that when you had been on the planet for just a few years, maybe 3 years, maybe 4, you came to conclusions about yourself. When you've been on the planet for just a few years, you came to a conclusion, you formed a belief, you made an opinion. People reject me. I'm not good enough. I'm not as good as other people. And I get rejected. And I want you to look at how and why and where you did that. I want you to imagine you're holding those 3 DVDs in one hand. And in your other hand, you're holding a scene of you today with this issue, this fear of rejection that holds you back. And your brilliant mind is showing you that those early scenes are all to do with why you got rejected. And understanding is power. And as you look over and around and through those scenes, this understanding is so powerful, so liberating, so transforming. You understand why and how those scenes affect you, but you also understand something else. You're not that little kid. You don't live with those critical people. That isn't you. It will never be you. As you understand how and where and why you got rejected, you understand something else. It will never, ever again for the rest of your life be relevant or necessary or appropriate or even remotely interesting for you to feel those feelings ever again. So I want you to be back in that bedroom with that sweet little child. I want you to wrap your arms around that little child. Or take that little child by the hand. I want you to take them back to where you live now. I want you to walk them through the front door. And I want you to show them where you live now. Where you live now, there are not people that are rejecting you or hurting. You don't go to a school with critical teachers or bullying classmates. You don't go to a school where other kids put you down. You don't live with parents that hurt you, and even if you did, You have the power that you didn't have at 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 11, 12. You can leave at any time. So I want you to upgrade that child into the home you live in now. Show them your phone with all the numbers of friends that like to hear from you. Show them that you have your own bank account. You can buy stuff. You have a car. You have a credit card. You have a phone. All these things were not available when you were 2 or 3 or 4 or 6, but they are available now. And I want you to remember all the things that you most wanted to hear as a child. You see, you know even better than me. I know, because we all want to hear the same things. You're a great kid. I love you. How lucky am I to be your parent? How lucky am I that I get to raise a kid as great as you? But you know even better than me. So I want you to repeat some words I'm going to say. I want you to repeat them out loud. No one is listening. It's more powerful to say them out loud. I want you to hold that little child in your arms, and I want you to say out loud, I'm becoming a loving parent to you now. No one in the world can play this role like I can. I love you exactly the way you are. I love you completely and unconditionally. You never, ever have to earn that. You're safe with me. I'm here protecting you always. I'll always have time for you. I will always listen to you. You and I have balance now. There is nothing we can't do. And I want you to show that little child the world you live in now, a world of friends and love and success. And even if you haven't got all of that yet, you are absolutely moving towards that, because what you want wants you. And what you are moving towards is absolutely moving towards you. I want you to upgrade that child right now. I want you to think of all the things you most wanted here, and I want you to say them out loud. And let's start by saying, you are such a great kid. You're so lovable. I'm so lucky I have you. I'm so lucky I get to raise you. You're so sweet. You're so smart. You're gorgeous. You're intelligent. You're clever. You're lovable. And when you grow up, you're going to find so many people that love you because you're lovable. And nobody can reject you because you're smart and lovable and you're a good kid. And I want you to add in the things you most needed to hear. I'm glad you're a girl. I'm glad you're a boy. I'm glad you're you. And as you repeat even more words of what you really, really needed to hear, you're the best kid. You're wonderful. I want you to think of something else. Even if your parents didn't love you, didn't want you, didn't plan you, and for some people that's a sad reality. But the truth is, somebody wanted you to be here. There are people who'd sell their house to have IVF work, to have a baby, who'd be great parents, and sadly it never works. There are other people who really don't appreciate the phenomenal gifts of the children they have. You are a gift to your parents. You're a gift. You're meant to be here. And even if your parents did not want you and didn't appreciate you and failed to honor you, the truth is the universe wanted you to be here. It wanted you to be you, and it put you here. And the universe that put you on this planet will support you 1,000% in knowing that you belong to life and that life belongs to you. It will support you. You are a part of life's longing for itself. You always have been, you always will be. And you simply cannot be rejected. To be rejected, you have to let it in. And if you don't let it in, you can't be rejected. People can be mean and critical. But you are choosing every day to not let it in, because you remember the key words I'm telling you. My voice is going with you. My voice is staying with you. My voice is having a powerful, permanent, all-pervasive impact on you. You remember these words. Critical people have the most criticism reserved for themselves. They're unhappy, they don't like themselves. And they criticize everyone else too, so that other people will feel as bad as they feel. But superior people praise. And you are becoming an expert at praising yourself. You praise yourself all the time. Every day you say, I'm lovable, I matter, I can't be rejected, I love myself, I accept myself, I believe in myself, I'm here with something valuable to offer. Every day as you praise yourself, your self-esteem goes up. Your sense of self-worth goes up. Your sense of self-value and self-image goes up, and then something even more wonderful happens. Other people's sense of your worth and value and image go up too. You believe in yourself. The most important words you hear are the words you say to yourself. And so every day you praise yourself. Every day you go back and you talk to that little kid. I want you right now to install that child in your home. You've taken them out of that childhood home, put them in the home where you live now. If you have children, add them to the children that you are doing a better job with than your parents did with you. If you live with a partner that loves you, invite that child to feel that love. And if you live alone, that's okay, because remember, you are becoming a loving parent to this child. No one can do a job quite as good as you. So that child lives in your world, and every day when you're doing the most simple thing like driving your car down the street or paying for your groceries with a credit card or going to work, you go, hey, I'm not a kid because I'm driving my car down the street. I'm getting out my card to buy stuff. I'm taking a train journey because I'm not 4, I'm not 3. I don't live in that home. I cannot be rejected. And this is the truth about you. Nobody can reject you unless you give them your permission. And you're never going to do that because you know the truth about you. And I know the truth about you. You matter. You're significant. You belong. You cannot be rejected. And you are developing phenomenal coping skills every day. You remind yourself that you matter, you're significant, you love yourself. You give and receive love, and all those fears of rejection, they are shrinking, disappearing, they are going, they are gone. Everything that made you fear rejection is being shattered and smashed. It is out of your life. It is in the past. It is all behind you. It is something you used to have. And it simply cannot, will not, and does not affect you ever again as you move on from one fantastic accomplishment to another. And let's just do one more thing. I want you to imagine those people that rejected you, the parents that criticized you, the relatives that put you down, the kids that bullied you. I want you to imagine that when you go home today, those parents are in your house. They've turned up with a luggage and they want to move in. They've had a moment where they've suddenly realized how incredible you are, and all they want to do is follow you around the house going, I love you, love you, love you. Let me make you breakfast. Let me make you dinner. Let me sit with you and tell you how much I love you. Let me walk you to work and walk home with you, travel with you, hang out with you, watch TV with you. I want you to imagine how long you could take that if those critical parents suddenly moved into your life and were there from the minute you woke up till the minute you went to bed just praising you. I want you to imagine the bully that suddenly wants to be your best friend and goes, you know, I was actually jealous of you because you had something that I didn't have. And I know that most people say, I couldn't even take that for a weekend. An hour? That's enough. Some people say 5 minutes. My mum and dad living in my house, praising me. I don't want that, because guess what? You don't need it. When you were a kid, you needed people to love you and protect you from rejection. And now you're all grown up. You are doing such a stellar, phenomenal job. You don't need those critical people from your past to love you, because you are doing an awesome job, a phenomenal job, an outstanding job of seeing how lovable you are. You cannot be rejected. You are bulletproof. You're rejection proof. People can say horrible things and you can go, thanks for sharing that. It's just an opinion. You don't have to let it in. So as you go deeper, you are so aware of a powerful transformation taking place in you. You like yourself. You really like yourself. And because you like yourself, other people like you every day. You move on from one phenomenal accomplishment to another. You like yourself and you like other people, and they like you right back. You praise yourself and other people, and they praise you back. You believe in yourself. You massively increase your own level of self-worth, self-value, and self-image, and everyone around you does the same thing. And when people are harsh and mean and critical, you understand that they're having a bad day. That your parents probably did the best they could. It wasn't enough, but they probably had pretty awful parents themselves, but you are shattering that. You're doing better. You're a loving person. You like yourself. You believe in yourself. You feel good about yourself. You have a warm, magnetic personality. People like you. You like you. And every day you praise yourself. And just one final thing that's really going to heal you. I want you to go back to those 3 scenes, and I want you to imagine the person that bullied you actually really likes you and wants to hang out with you and wants to be your friend. The parents that put you down are suddenly recognizing what a great kid you are. The people that diminished you and hurt you just want to love you. Because you see, you can change those scenes and confuse your mind. You don't need to. Because no matter how bad your childhood was, it is never too late to have a happy childhood. Even now you can remember that you have money to buy stuff, people to hang out with. You don't have to go to a school you hate. Ever again, you're free. But if you want to, you can even go back and make those 3 scenes look the way you would have liked them to look, and that too will have such a powerful transformation in you. So I'm just going to tell you a very quick story before you come back to your full awareness. A holy man, a very spiritual man, was interviewed by a journalist who didn't like him. And the journalist kept saying, oh, you're just a fake and you're just bogus and I don't believe in any of this holy stuff. And the holy man just smiled and beamed and continued to smile and beam as a journalist got really rather annoyed and said, why are you smiling and beaming when I keep criticizing you? And the holy man said, well, my dear boy, if you give me a gift, but I don't take the gift, who has the gift? And the journalist had to go, well, I guess I do. And that's right. If I don't take your gift, you have the gift. So if I don't take your criticisms, I'm just leaving them with you. And that is such a metaphor for life. People can be mean and harsh and critical. You don't have to take that. They're having a bad day. We have bad days, but you're having great days because you praise yourself, believe in yourself. You cannot be rejected. The most important words you will ever hear are the words you say to yourself and believe. The most important opinion is your opinion. It doesn't matter what happened in your childhood, and even if it does, just one more time look over and around and through those scenes, and as you understand how they affected you, how they influenced you, you understand something even more powerful. As the beautiful, talented, lovable, grown-up person that you are today, it is no longer necessary or relevant. It isn't appropriate. It isn't even remotely interesting for you to think those thoughts or believe those beliefs ever again. They are out of your life. They are in your past. You are lovable. And every day you say these last few sentences in your head. I accept myself as lovable. I see myself as lovable. I am lovable. I easily give love. I easily accept it. I am filled and nourished by the love that surrounds me now and always, and I fill and nourish other people with my love. You say those words every day because the truth is you are lovable. You always have been, you always will be. You easily give and receive love. You are filled and nourished and sustained by the love that's available to you, and you sustain other people with your love. And you cannot be rejected. Because to be rejected, you have to give the person trying to reject you all your power. You have to believe everything that they believe, and you have a choice every day not to do that. And you make that great choice every day because you are bulletproof, rejection proof. You love you, you praise you, you recognize you, and you are bulletproof. So feeling bulletproof, feeling phenomenal, feeling extraordinary, feeling wonderful, feeling able to come back to your full awareness, the same but different. And knowing that every time you think these thoughts, my voice will go with you. My voice will go with you, my voice will stay with you. It's having right now a powerful, permanent, all-pervasive, wonderful healing impact on you. So on the count of 1, you're returning to your full awareness, feeling amazing. On the count of 2, you're feeling at peace. On the count of 3, you're feeling extraordinary. On the count of 4, feeling so proud of yourself. On the count of 5, feeling amazing. With an understanding that is so liberating, so freeing, so empowering. Just open up your eyes and fill up your lungs and just take a deep breath and just give yourself a few minutes. You've done something extraordinary, and I salute you for that. And thank you so much for taking this journey with me, because it is a journey. It's a journey to upgrade yourself, to be the person you were meant to be. And every day I want you to remember that you are bulletproof, rejection-proof. People can say and do mean things, but you choose not to let that in, and that choice is changing your life. So until I see you again, well done. And just be aware that over the next few days and hours, many more scenes may come to you in bed. You might dream some dreams. You may even feel a little tearful. The most important words are let go. You may have a massive letting go now as you let go of the hurt. Because you see, events don't affect you. They really don't. What affects you is the meaning you attach to an event and the interpretation you put on an event. And that's great news, because you know what that means? You can change the interpretation right now. You can change the meaning. Yes, your parents may have loved your sister or your brother more, but it doesn't mean you're not lovable. It just means they couldn't see what an amazing kid you were, but you can. So change the interpretation, change the meaning, expect more scenes to come up, expect to feel a little maybe even emotional because you're letting go. That's so powerful. And expect to feel phenomenal and incredible and rejection-proof. And thank you for listening to me. See you again.
Wow. That was a beautiful experience, Marissa. I've seen you do this in front of hundreds of people live. I don't know what's going on with you guys watching this in your living room or your bedroom watching us today, but hopefully thousands of you are having a profound, meaningful experience. What you just experienced is an RTT session. It's a session that people pay £2,000 for Marissa to put them through. And many of you might be in tears right now. Many of you might be having emotional awakenings. All of that is normal. And some of you may feel a little bit better. It may take you from a 2 or 3 to maybe a 4. Sometimes you may go from a 2 or 3 to a 9 or a 10 in terms of healing that particular aspect of your life. Either way, we know you probably moved forward a little bit. So for those of you who love this experience, want to go further, I'd love to tell you about all of the 8 categories. We've been working on this program now for the Mind Valley Academy with Marissa Peer. It's one of our top-rated programs. And the first week we opened this program, we had 4,000 students from 35 different countries enrolled in it. And again, the feedback has been amazing. So here's how the program works. Our team worked with Marissa to design this into 8 weeks. As I said, there are 8 transformations you can go for. 8 categories where you can move your life forward. Marissa, could you tell us a bit about these 8 areas? How did you come up and identify these particular 8 gaps that we all have in our life?
Well, you see, we all want the same thing. I mean, predominantly we want to have very high self-esteem and be happy, and self-esteem actually means how much you like yourself. So one part of the program is to really massively boost your self-esteem, to boost your confidence. It's not about how much other people like you, it's about how much you like you. So we know people with high self-esteem don't get bullied and people with low self-esteem do. So one part of this is really developing your confidence and your self-esteem. And then the next part is showing you the mindset of the people who have everything, because people who've got it all only do 3 things amazingly differently to people who haven't. And if you take on those 3 things, you become like those people, and it doesn't matter if it's not natural. You can still do it. So I teach you in lessons 2, 3, and 4 these incredible habits of highly successful people and how to make them your own. And unlike a lot of programs where you listen to the lesson, you take lots of notes, I actually give you a hypnotic recording every week, and it wires in the change. You see, your brain is actually hardwired to do certain things, including avoiding rejection. And when you use hypnosis, because something happens in the brain with hypnosis that doesn't happen without it, it's very safe. But scientists have noticed that in hypnosis you are much more willing and able to change, because the critical factor in your head that goes, I can't do that, actually shuts down, and then it goes, I can do that. And so not only am I giving you an extraordinary lesson that's very unique to me, and people often say, but how come you're so good? Well, it's because I was voted the best therapist, and I've got access to people at the top of their game, CEOs, multimillionaires, royalty, Hollywood actors, rock stars. And I began to study their brain.
This is a form of reverse engineering.
Yeah.
Marissa looked at the brain of the billionaires, the CEOs, the rock stars, the Olympians, the experts that she had access to, and she's like, okay, these are the 8 qualities.
Yeah.
These are the 8 qualities over tens of thousands of people she's worked with, that if you install in yourself, the first one you experience being rejection proof. If you install these 8 qualities, that's when you start leveling up in all of these 12 areas. So these are the sort of the 8 fundamental Lego blocks that we all have, except most people do not have all 8.
Yes, some of my clients have some, and some have others. And what I did was I'd teach the clients who had maybe 4, the other 4, and watch their life transform. I'd see people who had huge success but no love in their life, married within a year. I'd see people who had a great relationship and a great business idea but couldn't take it to market and get funding really fast. I'd see people who had a great job but had migraines because of the stress become totally migraine free. And I'd see people who didn't believe they could ever have a nice body and health and fitness acquire it. So not many people have all 8 except for my clients, but when you have all 8, it's like winning the lottery.
Right. And I want to share one thing with you, right? So you did the 12 categories, the 12 areas in life you want to level up in. Now know that these 8 things do not directly connect to these 12 categories. So it's not like you're going to learn how to level up your ability to afford beautiful environments, or how to level up your relationships, or how to level up your experiences or your career. No. What you're going to do is a layer deeper. You're going to look at the fundamental building blocks of what it takes to be an extraordinary human being. These are the 8 fundamental building blocks. Marissa is going to heal you in these 8 areas, and then the leveling up in those 12 categories happen automatically. It's because the shades are taking off. It's because the crap, the stuff that weighs us down in our being is being pulled off. Negative programming is being plucked out of your head, and then you start leveling up automatically. Like Marissa never specifically did RTT on me to improve my abundance or my income. Rather, what happened was one of these 8 areas she removed from me. But in 4 months, I doubled my income as a teacher, as from book sales. And I don't even know how it happened. All I know was things fundamentally started shifting in how I functioned in the world when a particular childhood memory was pulled out of me, something that happened to me at 9 years old. It's in my book. So would that be an accurate way of explaining this?
Yeah, I think it's very correct that once you let go of beliefs that hold you back, once you let go of things, you're free to change. And you're going to change in every area. I mean, fundamentally, you're going to change in your relationships, in your business. But a lot of people will find that they can change in the amount of wealth that they acquire. And a lot of people will change in the fact that they can finally be the weight and shape and size, have the body and the health that they desire. There's nothing left out. You know, I've looked in my 30-year career at what all my patients need, and they all need the same thing. And so I've put everything you need and more into this program. And I've done it in a particular way that each week leads seamlessly into the next week. And each change that you're going through every week layers into the next change and layers into the next change until by week 8, a wonderful, rapid, and quite permanent transformation is taking place. Because people go, well, doesn't it wear off? When you do it my way, it will never wear off. It is permanent and powerful.
You've rewired the brain. Two things
Exactly.
really important to understand. A lot of you who are showing up for this masterclass, one of the biggest reasons you're here is because you want to see a rise in your abundance levels. As we mentioned earlier, once you have more income, more money, a lot of the other areas you can afford the best environments, the best doctors, the best advice, the best training. Abundance starts going up. When you fix these 8 blocks, when these things are installed upon you, you've already had one installed, being bulletproof, your abundance levels are forced to rise. The second thing that's really interesting that we hear back from our students is health changes. A lot of people start shedding weight because there are a lot of subconscious reasons why we put on weight. And when your subconscious has been cleaned up and been rebuilt by Marissa, the weight starts going down. Marissa, I'd love to talk about how we have structured the program. So the program is designed to take place over 8 weeks. And if you look below this video, you can already enroll. We break down what happens in part 1, part 2, part 3. Now, part 1 of the program is dedicated to one fundamental thing, and that is to program your mind to get whatever you want and keep it. One of the things we found is many people are good at manifesting something, but they cannot keep it. Here you learn to get what you want and keep it. And this part will last 3 weeks. So for 3 weeks straight, you will spend 1 to 2 hours a week with Marissa, and you'll be going through RTT sessions. Now, the important thing to understand is this isn't just a lecture. Marissa is actually guiding you into a hypnotic state of mind and then reprogramming you. So some of you might experience the results with just one session. One session of listening to that track will cause a permanent change. Others, you may want to re-listen to it a second time or a third time. No issue, because you own the tracks. It's not just lectures. You are actually going through a direct experience with Marissa. And I've seen her put hundreds of people through this at A-Fest. The results are astonishing. Now then, we come to part 2. Now part 2 is week 4, 5, and 6. Part 2 is dedicated to your career. Part 2 will install in you the top performing beliefs of people who are just completely crushing it at their career. When people hit this portion of the program, they report their confidence levels at work going up, their business exploding, more attention coming to their product or their service, them getting a raise, their income going up. This part 2 of the program is so important because this is where your abundance factor starts going up and you gain the ability to have a bigger impact on the world. Then we come to part 3. And in part 3, it's 2 weeks. Here you're going to go through 2 transformations over 2 weeks. So this is week 7, week 8. And this is about emotional fortitude, having self-esteem, having unwavering confidence in who you are. People, when they complete this portion, they go out to the world like they're a superhero. Nothing can shake them. They have the power, the strength, the confidence to shake things up and make a dent in the universe. This is a beautiful state to be in. So the program is structured to last 8 weeks and transform you over this 8 weeks. And working with Marissa, we decided to add a really cool innovation. So the first thing is, the program is now available as an app. So whether you have an iPhone or an Android phone, you can play this entire program on your laptop or in the app. But we've added a new technology for peer-to-peer learning. Everyone who's going through this program can connect with each other in an online community. Marissa's on it, her husband's on it, I'm on it, Marissa's team is on it, and we get to interact with each other and keep each other going. It is amazing to see how active that community has become. And so you actually get to directly interact with other students and with Marissa herself. There's tons of free additional videos, content that we post. It's all done spontaneously. It's like being part of a really elite private Facebook group, and people love it. And just the stories you hear from other students inspire you to do even greater things with your life. So I love that community. So at this point, there are two paths you can take. You can choose to end the masterclass here, and no problem. Hopefully you had a tremendous experience. Or you can choose to go for an uncompromised life. You can choose to look at those 12 areas of your life and level up to an 8, a 9, a 10 in each of these areas. You can choose to be the person who has money and an incredible body and an incredible sex life and incredible relationships and is an incredible parent and can go out there like a superhero, change the world, and help push humanity forward. Or you can choose to live life as you've always lived life, experiencing that gain you got from today's masterclass, but deciding that that's enough. Choose to step from the 99% to the 1%. Come play with us and see what life can really be like. And look, like any program in Mind Valley, we know our teachers are extraordinary, but we know that you as our customer is our main mission. Enroll in the program. Try out Transformations 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you feel this isn't for you, claim a full refund. We know this program is so good. The overwhelming number of people who enroll in this stay with the entire program, and not only that, they love it. They share it with their friends. They share it with their family because it changes lives. But if you want to just try this out, there's no problem. Mind Valley's customer support is consistently rated one of the top 10 in the world by Nice Reply because just like Zappos shoes, high quality customer support, you can try this out and see if this is right for you. Below this video, click on the enroll button, and you'll also notice that as a thank you for staying with us for this almost 90-minute masterclass, we've unlocked a special discount available right now. Do not close this page. This discount is only available on this page. It's a better price than what you'll get anywhere else, and we hope to see you in this program. So Marissa, in a moment, I'm going to ask you some common FAQs that people are asking about this program. We're going to share with you another really enticing thing, the special bonuses that come with it. But before then, let me just share with you some of the amazing stories that we're getting from people who have gone through this empowering, this life-changing work. This woman, Susie, had eczema on her face and arms. And what happened is, after she went through Marissa's program, she realized the link between manifesting her eczema and why it was happening. It began to clear up. And her depression, Susie said, also went away. So a lot of things that you aren't expecting to happen when you start going through these 8 transformations. Shirley had suffered depression on and off. She avoided reaching her full potential. Her solution was to emphasize that she was not her mother. By reminding herself of this daily, she went on to grow her career. Today, she's a CEO, again, because of this program. Moira had an issue. She was dating losers, in her words, alcoholic or unemployed men who only had little to offer. Today, she's able to have amazing relationships because of going through this program. And this is the letter that all of these students sent us. Now, Ryan Labesse, he's actually an author. I've studied his work. And this is what he said about Marissa. So when I saw that Ryan, this author I'm a big follower of, he wrote the book Ask, was one of your fans, I was blown away. What I experienced in that room with Marissa changed my life in minutes. I uncovered a massive block. I've seen massive positive changes in my relationships with my wife, my children, and my employees. And I know Ryan, I asked him about this later, because Ryan is not a woo-woo type of guy. He's hardcore, left-brained, all business, yet his life changed and he became a believer. Garrett Gunderson works in the financial industry. He's also a famous author. You have to see what she can do in 5 minutes that people search for their whole lifetimes. Jenny Latham of Ernst & Young brought Marissa to speak at Ernst & Young. She was one of our most popular talks. We wouldn't hesitate to book her again for future sessions. Javier Elkin said this of Marissa's TEDx talk. Her topic was unique, delivered flawlessly. Marissa is an incredible teacher. Karina Dobrotvoskaya, who's president and editorial director of brand development at the Condé Nast International, said, Marissa's speech was so inspiring, so relevant, so emotional, exactly what was needed. I'm reading this because I want you to understand that as you go through this program, Marissa's style of teaching is so beautiful, it hooks you. and you cannot wait to get to the next lesson. But you probably do want to space them out every week so that you fully soak in each critical piece. Stephen Wallace, who won MasterChef 2007, said, "It really helped me to change some deep-rooted issues. I no longer use food to cope, and I can finally visualize myself slim. For the first time ever, I can work with food, and it does not rule me at all." Desiree, the singer, one of my favorite singers, said Marissa's work is profoundly effective. I was blown away when I read this. Desiree, by the way, I proposed to my wife with her music in the background.
Wow.
So even at A-Fest, we've seen incredible results from Marissa's healing sessions. That picture you're seeing right now is hundreds of people going through Marissa's sessions at A-Fest. Again, one of our best voted speakers, and people have these remarkable transformations. That's me in that picture. That's me connecting with my inner child and healing myself. So really excited that all of you are going to get to experience that. So Marissa, think about it. Of all the people watching today, many of you guys, many of them are going to be your next case studies. I can't wait.
Yeah, nothing makes me happy. Practically every day I wake up to emails or letters or Facebook postings saying, "You changed my life. You don't know me, but you changed my life." And I love that. So I can't wait to hear that from you.
And I love the bonuses that I included in this program. Tell people about the bonuses, because you're going to love this.
Well, again, I look at my clients and see what they really want. They want to have a beautiful relationship. So I'm giving you a free bonus download that will wire you to not only attract, but to maintain the most gorgeous, perfect, loving relationship. People's greatest fear is to speak in public because, of course, that's all to do with the fear of being rejected. So I've made that because a lot of people go for interviews or auditions or pay rises or pitching because they want funding. So it's how to address an audience with phenomenal confidence in yourself. And then another free download is about confidence, because if you don't have confidence, you can't even go to a restaurant and say, "I'll have the salad without the dressing." It takes confidence even to eat well, to get the things you want in life. And then the final free download is sleep. You know, sleep is nature's restorer. Some people are so anxious, their brain is working all night long. And when you can enjoy a deep, healing sleep, you're set up to cope with every day better. So those are the 4 downloads that will really help you and give you an extra something. I know you'll love them, and I'm delighted to give them to you.
So again, as you'll see right below here, when you enroll, you're going to get 4 bonus sessions from Marissa. Now, these sessions come from large companies that bring in Marissa, pay her 50 grand to speak to their entire group of employees. And what Marissa found is that the 4 things that people really want that can dramatically change people's lives when you're speaking to these large crowds are how to rewire your brain so you have perfect relationships. That's number 1. Secondly, sleep. So many of us are sleep deprived. About 50% of the Western world is sleep deprived. You're going to rewire that so that you can now sleep well, wake up the next day, fully refreshed to go out and conquer the day. The third thing, public speaking. Marissa transforms the way you can speak in public. And this is so important, from asking to a raise to pitching an idea. You will gain that training as well. And the final one, pure confidence. Confidence to fuel you to really go out there and claim everything you really want about this world. So you get all of these completely free. Each of these are bonuses. How long are these sessions?
About 20 minutes long. Just long enough for you to listen to before you go to sleep.
Right, and you can listen to these over and over again. Some people will experience profound results after 1 listen. Some people will experience profound results after maybe 5 or 6 listens. But they dramatically change you because it's based on the RTT methodology. It rewires your brain to give you and install the beliefs you need for better sleep, better relationships, better confidence, and to speak in public in an astounding, incredible way. So many of you can enroll right now. The button is below. But Marissa, I want to ask you a couple of common questions that people are asking. I'm referencing them on my phone right now. The first one is, can you explain what each module is like?
Well, each module is very different. Each module is me. I don't like to use the word lesson because it sounds very school teacher, but each module is me explaining something to you that you may not have heard before, explaining how it works, showing you how to put it into practice. In many of the modules, I actually hypnotize you while you're watching me on screen to wire in these changes. And then you get sent a download so that when you're lying in bed at night, you can listen to this recording every day for a week. About a week is enough. and then you come on to the next module and learn something new, but we also will keep adding in all the stuff you've already learned. So every module is me teaching you something brand new with a brand new approach to it, usually doing hypnosis in each session because it's just the fastest way to get your mind to lock on to ideas that you might previously reject. And again, I know I've said this already, but something happens in the brain during hypnosis. It takes in ideas. It suddenly believes that you can get funding for yourself. You can ask out that amazing person. You can have a better life. All the resistance shuts down, and suddenly you feel absolutely motivated to make that happen, and then you get the download to continue it. So every week is different. Every week is exciting.
So how long is the lecture portion?
Each video is about an hour, but that includes the hypnosis. So it's maybe half an hour of me speaking. They're not exactly the same in terms of time, but it's about half an hour of me talking, about half an hour of hypnosis.
And the hypnosis portion, how many times in that week should we listen to the hypnosis portion?
Well, then you get the audio, which is about 20 minutes long, and you listen to that for a week until you get the new one. Of course, you may find that you want to go on listening to one. One of them may really be your favourite, and each person seems to have a different week. They go, oh, I loved that week, or gosh, that week had my name all over it. So you may find that you want to use some of those audios more, and that's absolutely fine. They're yours forever.
So again, to recap, what you could do is, on week 1, you can pick a Saturday or Sunday, watch the video. So there's a video with Marissa talking and explaining the concept, that particular one of the 8 areas. And then she spends, and that explanation is 30 to 40 minutes. Then she takes you through a 20-minute RTT session. That's the important bit. The RTT session is what rewires your brain and your thought patterns. Now, some of you may go, wow, that's amazing, it's changed me. Others may want to re-listen to that 20-minute portion every day for the next 6 days until you come to week 2, or maybe every other day. That's completely up to you. So the lecture portion, you can listen in your car, you can listen while you're driving. That would be safe, right?
Oh, yeah.
As soon as you come to the RTT session, use that to replace your regular morning meditation. So it's 20 minutes a day. And again, you don't have to do it for 7 days straight. Some of you can if you want to, if not every other day, or 2 or 3 times a week is okay. Now, the second question is it safe? I mean, this is hypnotherapy. Can you make people do things they do not want to do?
Yeah, everybody asks me that. If that was the case, every hypnotist in the world would be a multi-millionaire, because we get all our clients to leave us stuff in their will and put an extra 0 on the payment. But of course you can't do that. There are many hypnotherapists that are successful but not that successful. You can only make people do what they already want to do. So if you have a desire, a calling, a wish for something, then I can absolutely unlock that in you, but I could never make you do something you didn't want to do. You know, my clients are always sending me flowers. No one sent me a Porsche yet. I mean, if I had that much power, I'd have 2.
Well, I'll put it this way, right? That's why the lecture portion is so important.
Yeah.
Marissa can make you do what you desire.
Exactly.
And each of these 8 lectures, she will help raise the desire for something that you may be, you may kind of be like, about, about. But she's going to inspire you to dream bigger, to think better about where your relationships could be, where your career could be, to create those desires, and then rewire your brain so you go out there. That's how top performers think. But you know, there's no way in hypnosis, and I've read this, I've done all the research, that's why I feel safe with hypnosis. There's no way we can install in you a desire you do not want.
No, so for instance, the footballer Jason Roberts, his father brought him to me. He was a clerk, a filing clerk, and he wanted to be a soccer player, and he had some talent, but he had no confidence at all. And I hypnotized him to believe in himself, and he went from nowhere right up into the Premier League and became a multi-millionaire.
Amazing. That's an amazing story from a clerk.
He was too scared to be a footballer.
But he wanted that.
But he wanted it.
Right.
He had the talent, but he didn't have the belief.
But it wasn't a situation where he didn't want to be a footballer. His father wanted him to be, and you pushed him to be a footballer. You know, Jason wanted that himself.
But he was scared. And you see, if you have belief but no talent, that will actually take you further than having talent without belief. But if you have both, you're unstoppable. Right. So if you have even a basic talent to write, to produce, to perform, if you add talent to belief, you can just take off.
Next question. A lot of people write back to us and report healings. So you're messing with their mind. Sorry, I shouldn't say messing,
You
because
can
you're
say it.
actually healing. You're helping them get their mental thinking to the next level. But what's happening is that people are actually healing. Eczema is going away. Skin is clearing up. People are dropping weight. What's going on there? Why is the body responding like this?
Well, one part of the 8 weeks, I do some incredible healing. I do something called command cell therapy and a healing vortex, which actually just takes your body back to its original coding. Because we know that every cell in the body knows how to be perfect, and damaged cells start to replace themselves with damaged cells, but you can actually command your cells to work perfectly. It's not scary at all, because you're simply reactivating the perfection that your body wanted you to have. So you can have a perfect metabolism, you can have wonderful digestion. You shouldn't have to take all these antacids and all those terrible things that don't work. You shouldn't have irritable bowel or skin complaints. They tend to be signs of anxiety and unhappiness. So on a deep level, we are removing a lot of these minor ailments, but some people have had extraordinary things happening with major ailments too, because the body can actually do a huge amount of healing if you know how to activate that. And I know how to activate it.
That's amazing.
And I'm going to show you.
Final question. A lot of people suddenly see their income go up. Like, this is what I experienced as an author, royalty, speaking gigs, people asking me to appear in their shows just mysteriously increase almost fourfold since our session. One of the things, by the way, that Marissa healed in me was I share the story in my book. I always had this fear of stepping out, of being on stage, of being in the public eye because of a bad instance that happened with an old headmaster when I was 14 to 16 years old. And when she got rid of this, my income just started soaring. What's that connection? Why is it that so many people suddenly see their income go up after this program?
So an artist came on the program, and she was saying that she was really scraping by, making no living at all. And actually she suddenly got all kinds of commissions. She's painting, and she's painting murals, and she's doing really well. Because you see, your beliefs are a form of energy that radiate out from you and back to people that match your beliefs. So when you have the belief that my art is amazing, I'm amazing, this art is absolutely worth the money I'm asking for and more, people pick up that belief. When your belief is, gosh, I really hope you buy this painting because I can't pay my rent without it, and God, I need you to buy it. We pick up that negative energy too. But when you believe in yourself, when your levels of self-worth go up, when your sense of self-worth and self-value and self-image go up, everyone else's sense of your worth and image and value goes up too.
Interesting. That's a beautiful way of explaining
So
it.
nice. It's so nice to see that.
So thank you, Marissa. Everyone, I look forward to seeing you in Uncompromised Life. It is a remarkable program. And don't take my word for it. Try it out yourself. Risk-free. Explore the program. You've experienced one transformation. Go for all 8. But try it out and see the impact this has on you. Check out the way we've put this together, the quality of the program, the quality of our community and our tribe and everyone coming together, and you'll see why this is one of our most beloved programs, and a program that every single week we get almost 10 to 15 love letters from customers every single week, even months after this program, because of the lives that are being changed. And it's one reason I'm such a big Marissa Peer fan, and one reason why lives are being transformed all around the world with RTT, which Marissa pioneered, and her amazing work. So thank you for joining us today.
You're so welcome. Thank you.
All the information is below. Explore the page, and I will see you in Uncompromised Life, and we'll connect with each other in our online community with Marissa and our thousands of other students. Thank you.